Epcot is comprised of two realms: Future World, which explores human ingenuity and discovery, and World Showcase, which celebrates cultures of the world. Situated on over 250 acres, Epcot was first envisioned by Walt Disney in 1966 and opened in 1982.
Peter Blake, the architectural editor of New York Magazine, recommends that all of New York City's town planning work be turned over to the Walt Disney Mickey Mouse organization because they seem to be the only people in America who are able to get anything done. Now, don't laugh. When you look around at this new town they have built here in Central Florida, you will think he is right. It is the most imaginative and most effective piece of urban planning in America. And that is totally aside from the Mickey Mouse amusement park area itself. It is outside of the park on Disney's own land, which is about twice the size of Manhattan. On this, they have built roads, transportation systems, lakes, golf courses, campgrounds, riding stables, stores, hotels, and so on. And they all fit together in a setting of land, air, and water better than any other urban environment in America. We all remember seeing years ago those slick, futuristic drawings saying what the future of the American city was going to be. Gleaming buildings, fast monorails, people in one place, cars in another. Well, this is the future, and none of it has happened. Nobody has done it but Disney.
On a clear day, pilots flying along the eastern coast of Florida can spot Spaceship Earth. When Epcot opened in 1982, waters from 22 nations were poured into the Fountain of Nations. Spaceship Earth and Innoventions surround this fountain.
Future World at Epcot explores the worlds of discovery and innovation.
Spaceship Earth gleams against the sky at the entrance to Future World, reflecting the sunshine or the colorful night lighting. Inside, guests take a voyage through 40,000 years of communications history. The journey begins with Cro-Magnon man, moves through the Renaissance to the telephone and into the heart of the communications revolution. Global Neighborhood is an interactive area featuring examples of some of the latest communications breakthroughs.
The building of Spaceship Earth, the world's largest geosphere, was a monumental design, engineering, and construction challenge, as this time-lapse film shows.
More people pass through Spaceship Earth than any other attraction in Walt Disney World. Spaceship Earth, an 18-story geosphere, is the largest structure of its kind. It weighs 15 million pounds and measures 165 feet in diameter, supported by 6 pylons buried 100 feet into the ground. This method of construction gives stability without the use of interior supports.
In Universe of Energy in Future World, guests see a film called Ellen's Energy Crisis, where Ellen falls asleep and dreams about competing in a quiz show where all the categories relate to energy. When the film ends, the seats move into a realistic, three-dimensional primeval world of ancient forests, volcanoes, and battling dinosaurs. The one-acre roof atop the Universe of Energy is covered with 80,000 photovoltaic cells producing 70,000 watts of power, enough to supply the needs of 15 single-family homes. Four of the audio-animatronics dinosaurs in the Universe of Energy are Apatosaurus, Allosaurus, Stegosaurus, and Tyrannosaurus rex. All the dinosaurs at the Universe of Energy are fabricated to actual size.
Wonders of Life in Future World celebrates health, fitness, and the joy of being alive. The area is filled with sensory experiences and hands-on activities. The anatomical players perform entertaining and amusing skits about health, and the film The Making of Me explores the mysteries of birth. At Frontiers of Medicine, guests explore cutting-edge developments in science and medicine. The Wonders of Life geodesic dome is 60 feet tall and covers 50,000 square feet. To build it, rings of triangles were constructed around the tower, then hoisted by cables. The completed dome was secured to a ring resting on the outer columns, and the tower was then taken apart and removed. The sculpture in front of Wonders of Life is a 75-foot-high representation of a DNA molecule. A person would need to be millions of miles tall to accommodate a DNA molecule this size. Cranium Command in Wonders of Life is a playful attraction that delivers learning with fun, telling a story of the interaction between brain and body. In a short film, General Knowledge recruits Buzzy to pilot the brain of a 12-year-old boy. Guests then enter into the boy's mind and experience the adventure through his eyes. It's up to Buzzy to help the boy through the troubles of a teenager trying to cope with food, bullies, school, and falling in love. At Cranium Command, the theater is designed to make guests feel that they are in the mind of a 12-year-old boy. Rear projection screens allow them to see life through his eyes.
The voice of General Knowledge was played by
Corey Burton. That's me.
Body Wars in Wonders of Life is a twisting, plunging voyage through the human body. To study how the immune system prevents infection from a splinter, the guest's vehicle is miniaturized and injected into the bloodstream. The exploration goes awry, forcing the ship to race through the heart and lungs. Losing fuel, the captain pilots the ship to the brain, where electrical synapses blast the ship back to safety. A ride through the human body was one of the first ideas developed for Epcot. but early technology couldn't do the concept justice. Finally, in the 80s, flight simulator technology made Body Wars a reality. The simulator technology used in Body Wars is the same as that used in Star Tours. A synthesis of everything in Future World, Horizons presents a vision of how transportation, energy, food, and communications, all operating together, can provide a better life for the people of the future. But rather than emphasizing technology and machinery, here the focus is on the family unit and an exploration of possible future habitats on land, at sea, and in space. Horizons will be changing to keep Future World a constant place of discovery.
During the last few years, we've ventured into a lot of different fields, and we've had the opportunity to meet and work with a lot of wonderful people. I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Congratulations, Mr. Mickey Mouse. Congratulations to you. Congratulations, your picture show was fine. It's a hit, and we want to shake your hand. Congratulations, happy days to you. You sure brought down the house, and we hope you have a lot of success. Congratulations, Mickey Mouse.
Congratulations! You found a hidden Mickey! The two hemispherical screens in the omnisphere, each 80 feet in diameter, curve over and above the audience like a planetarium in the sky. Guests ride through the center of this environment, completely surrounded by spectacular images of space and technology. Horizons is the only attraction that lets guests choose their own ending. With the push of a button, they can see what the future holds in space, underwater, or desert environments.
Scheduled to open in 1997, Test Track in Future World is a speedy adventure modeled after an automobile testing facility. Guests experience a test drive over rough roads, through hairpin turns and extreme temperatures, in the longest, fastest ride Disney has ever created. This pulse-quickening attraction reaches highway speeds and gives guests a hands-on glimpse into the fast-lane world of automobile testing. In this computer-generated simulation, Imagineers were able to preview Test Track from the driver's seat. Extremes of speed, heat, cold, wind, and rough roads were tested in many different combinations before any of the actual attraction was ever built. Test Track is the fastest ride Disney Imagineers have ever created. The six-seater cars approach highway speeds of 65 miles per hour. By comparison, Space Mountain rockets travel at 28 miles per hour. constantly changing Innoventions in Future World is filled with state-of-the-art computers, virtual reality simulators, and the latest in home technology. Corporations from all over the world give guests the chance to test drive cutting-edge products. Innoventions goes into the future to show how technology will change and improve lives. Utilizing sophisticated computer technology, the fountain in Innoventions Plaza pulses to upbeat music and sends dancing waters 150 feet in the air. At night, fiber optic strands in the concrete tiles of the outdoor walkways create patterns of light underfoot. A multimedia show starring Bill Nye the Science Guy offers an introduction to the creative thinking process of scientists and inventors. Alectronic, a wisecracking see-through figure, shows guests how audio animatronics technology works.
Inside Journey into Imagination is a unique interactive area called the ImageWorks, where guests can let their creativity flow freely. They can put themselves in a TV show in Dreamfinder's School of Drama, or paint pictures by touching a computer screen in Figment's coloring book. Other interactivities include Making Faces, the Mirage Room, the Rainbow Corridor, and the Magic Palette. At Stepping Tones, guests can step on hexagonal patches of light to play different sounds. Fiddling, harp strumming, and drumming are just some of the sounds that were orchestrated by a composer so that all sounds are musically compatible. When guests run their hands across the thousands of illuminated pins, sweeping patterns of color are created. For these unique screens, each pin had to be absolutely identical. A Disney artist spent a month in a pin factory monitoring production to make sure all pins were perfectly straight. Journey into Imagination in Future World explores the Disney tools of magic, fantasy, and enchantment. Dreamfinder and Figment give guests a tour through the worlds of art, literature, theater, and science. Reaching deep into the recesses of the imagination process, Dreamfinder shows how accomplishments in the arts and sciences begin with a spark of an idea. How do show designers turn an abstract idea into a story that all ages can share? In this attraction, inventing the characters Dreamfinder and Figment was the key to exploring the mysteries of creativity and imagination. Collage is the style of the iridescent painting on the wall in the visual arts scene. Produced by refracting light through polarized filters, it's the largest of its kind anywhere.
In the 3D movie Honey, I Shrunk the Audience in Future World, Professor Wayne Zielinski is presented with the Inventor of the Year Award from the Imagination Institute. Once again, he creates total chaos all around him. His shrinking machine spins out of control and the audience is reduced to the size of a bread box, where they are menaced by some large and scary creatures. Even Wayne's son Adam gets into the act when he tries to pick up the theater and carry it away with him.
It's perfect for those who long for the companionship of a pet, but none of the associated mess or mice. Give me more power. Too much! Too much!
The dog in the film is a combination of a real dog and a puppet head. The puppet head was 3 times larger than normal and was filmed against a 1/12 size miniature curtain.
In Circle of Life at the Land Pavilion, Simba, king of the Pride Lands, discovers that Timon and Pumbaa are clearing the savannah to build the Hakuna Matata resort. He tells them a tale told to him by his father Mufasa about how man sometimes forgets that everything is connected in the great Circle of Life. Circle of Life combines animation, new live-action footage, and scenes previously used in Symbiosis, the film originally shown in the Harvest Theater.
The elaborate mural at the entrance to the Land Pavilion is a colorful and abstract representation of the Earth's rich soil, made from glass, tile, and marble. Inside, the Living with the Land boat ride explores man's relationship to nature. 3 ecological communities are presented: the wet rainforest, the dry desert, and the windy prairie. The living laboratories show innovative techniques for growing food in harsh environments. A guided behind-the-scenes walking tour through the land greenhouses provides guests with detailed explanations of new and advanced methods of agriculture. 4 different greenhouses are visited that showcase pioneer research projects developed with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and NASA. Each year, 30 tons of fruits and vegetables are grown and harvested from the 6 acres within the Land Pavilion. They're served at the Garden Grill and other Epcot restaurants. Food Rocks in the Land is an all-star benefit for good nutrition, featuring singing and dancing fruit, vegetables, and assorted kitchen utensils. Hosted by Food Rapper, this rock and roll review is inspired by real-life rapper Tone Loc. Musical guests include the Peach Boys singing Good Nutrition and the Refrigerator Police performing Every Bite You Take. Other famous performers featured are Chubby Cheddar and Peta Gabriel. Food Rocks replaced Kitchen Cabaret, a lively musical comedy based on proper diet. It starred Bonnie Appetit and is fondly remembered for the song Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit. In the pre-show area, guests' olfactory senses are tested by trying to identify aromas in 6 smell boxes: garlic, chocolate, coffee, bacon, orange, and seafood.
The Living Seas in Future World is one of the largest aquariums in the world. This living museum holds thousands of fish and plants, along with divers at work in a panorama of life beneath the ocean's surface. After a ride through a Caribbean coral reef, guests enter hydrolators to descend into Seabase Alpha, a prototype undersea research center. 6 different modules showcase a variety of displays and offer hands-on activities. The living seas feature over 5,000 sea creatures, including the gentle manatee. Grazing on seagrass, manatees eat for 6 to 8 hours every day, grow to 15 feet in length, and weigh up to 3,500 pounds. Manatees can spend almost 25 minutes underwater before coming up for air, but only need to breathe for a few seconds before diving again. Manatees are an endangered species and are protected by the federal government. 2 tons of food a week are prepared for the thousands of tropical reef creatures living in the tanks. Divers plant synthetic coral made of ground fish, other food, and dental plaster for the coral crunchers to munch. Welcome to the oceans of the world. Here you can see mankind's destructive effects on a simple underwater ecosystem populated by sharks, small fish, and kelp. Click on the boat to begin shark hunting. To control the passage of time, click on Slow, Medium, or Fast on the round gauge in the bottom right corner of the screen. To spill oil into the ocean, click on the oil drum. Click on the sewer pipe to release sewage runoff. Click on the shark or fish cages to increase their population. We hope this activity gives you a better understanding of the delicate balance of life that exists in the oceans of the world. The Living Seas in Future World is one of the largest aquariums in the world. This living museum holds thousands of fish and plants, along with divers at work in a panorama of life beneath the ocean's surface. After a ride through a Caribbean coral reef, guests enter hydrolators to descend into Seabase Alpha, a prototype undersea research center. 6 different modules showcase a variety of displays and offer hands-on activities.
There's live entertainment throughout Future World, such as the Jammers, who perform a sanitational symphony in a comedic cacophony of sound.
The shops throughout Future World feature character merchandise, sports, fitness, science, and Disney animation art and other collectibles. Restaurants offer healthy meal choices that include fruits and vegetables grown in the Land Pavilion. World Showcase at Epcot presents countries and cultures from around the globe. World Showcase offers guests an international variety of dining and shopping experiences, featuring authentic native cuisine and merchandise from the 11 representative countries.
Emerging from lush tropical vegetation at the edge of World Showcase Lagoon, an ancient pyramid invites guests to the colorful history of Mexico. Inside, a changing gallery displays examples of Mexican artifacts from 1200 BC to the 1500s AD. El Rio del Tiempo takes guests on a boat cruise through time, depicting the rich history of pre-Columbian, colonial, and modern Mexico. The 36-foot-high Pyramid Temple is fashioned after Mesoamerican architecture that dates back to the 3rd century AD. The steep flight of stairs led to the sanctuary of the high priests. The serpent heads that flank the stairs to the top of the pyramid represent the Aztec god Quetzalcoatl. Mexico is the only showcase that is entirely indoors, where it's always a romantic moonlit night. In World Showcase, a picturesque cobblestone town square captures the spirit of the cities of Norway. Also here is a replica of a wooden stave church and a castle fashioned after Akershus, a 14th century stone fortress. In Maelstrom, guests take a harrowing trip through Norway's history on dragon-headed Viking ships. The boat spins around and drops backwards down a raging waterfall into the North Sea. Docked at the entrance to the showcase is an exact replica of a Viking ship, the Norseman, which sailed from Nova Scotia to Walt Disney World to commemorate the first Norse sighting of America. Though there used to be many stave churches all over Norway, only 30 of them still stand today. Opened in 1988, Norway is the most recent country added to World Showcase.
The ceremonial gate of the Golden Sun and the three-tiered Temple of Heaven invite guests into the beauty, complexity, and serenity of the People's Republic of China while visiting World Showcase at Epcot. In the House of the Whispering Willows, the Circle Vision film Wonders of China is shown. Disney filmmakers were the first foreigners allowed to shoot in Tibet's capital Lhasa, known as the Forbidden City. Other areas rarely filmed include the Great Wall and the excavation of the Qin Shi Huang tomb. The main building of the Temple of Heaven complex is the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest. It is a 1/2 scale replication of the original building constructed during the Ming Dynasty. For the past 2,200 years, an army of life-size terracotta warriors has stood guard over the mausoleum of the Shi Huang, the first emperor of Qin. The ceremonial Gate of the Golden Sun welcomes guests to China in World Showcase. In the House of the Whispering Willows, the Circle Vision film Wonders of China is shown. The three-tiered Hall of Prayer for Good Harvests is modeled after the celebrated structure at the Temple of Heaven Park in Beijing. Germany at World Showcase is a land of fantasy, folklore, and festivity. Romantic castles and enchanting villages take guests into the heart of Bavaria. Lining the cobblestone plaza are a clock tower, a medieval castle, and gingerbread-style shops filled with German imports. In the boisterous beer garden, it's Oktoberfest all year round. Disney Imagineers traveled to Bavaria to study architectural styles and adapted them to create the authentic look and feel of Germany. The original statue of St. George slaying a dragon can be found in Rothenburg, Germany. Every hour, the glockenspiel in the clock tower springs to animated life, accompanied by whimsical music.
Italy's striking beauty is evident in the elegant Doge's Palace of Venice at World Showcase. Every detail in the smaller version of the Campanile Bell Tower in St. Mark's Square is authentic. Neptune's fountain is modeled after one created by famed sculptor Bernini. In the lagoon, gondolas rock gently at their barber pole striped moorings. Because it would be almost impossible to duplicate the marble on the Doge's palace, Imagineers carefully recreated it using fiberglass painted and treated to look like the real thing. The statues on the palace are hollow and held by steel rods running through the base and into the statues themselves. The painting technique used in the restaurant mural is called trompe-l'œil, which means trick the eye. Even though guests would never be able to tell, Imagineers felt that authenticity demanded that the angel on top of the campanile be covered in genuine gold leaf. The American Adventure represents the host nation and stands in the center of World Showcase. Inside this handsome Georgian-style mansion is an inspiring tribute to the American spirit, narrated by Benjamin Franklin and Mark Twain. The audio animatronics cast of 35 historic performers appear in a patriotic celebration of American history, dreams, and ideals. The movements of the audio animatronics figure of Ben Franklin are extremely complicated. In a scene with Thomas Jefferson, he actually walks upstairs. It took over a month to program these movements in order to make them precise, yet smooth and fluid. Approximately 110,000 bricks, designed by Disney and manufactured by a Georgia brick company, were colored and aged to look like old Williamsburg bricks for use in the American Adventure Mansion. Bursting with lights, lasers, and fireworks, Illuminations transforms World Showcase into a brilliant nighttime wonderland. Rousing classical music takes guests on a sound and light tour of the national showcases as they are illuminated by thousands of twinkling lights and special effects. 2 years and hundreds of new technological developments were required to achieve this spectacular production.
Congratulations! You found a hidden Mickey! Capturing the spirit of Japan's colorful history, architectural styles from many periods create an enchanting and unique setting. The 5 stories of the pagoda represent earth, water, fire, wind, and sky. Reverence for nature is showcased in the art of Japanese gardening. Every object and its placement have special meaning. Epcot landscape designers made sure all elements were authentic, down to what the Japanese call the imperfection of the natural order. The large red structure gracing the shores of Japan at World Showcase is a good luck symbol called Torii, which translates as Gate of Honor. Because authentic Japanese plants would not be able to survive the Florida climate, landscape designers substituted stand-in varieties for the real thing.
Entertainment in World Showcase features performers native to their host countries, such as the Festival Marrakesh in Morocco, the Stiltbirds from Japan, Le Clown Gourdoun in France, and the Caledonia Bagpipes in United Kingdom.
Morocco in World Showcase brings the jewel of Africa to life in 2 areas. The Vie Nouvelle, meaning New City, features the Royal Gallery and tourism information. The Medina, meaning Old City, is the home to tiled replicas of the landmark Koutoubia Minaret of Marrakesh, the bells of the Madrasa, and a bustling market of quaint shops. King Hassan II of Morocco and his royal architect reviewed scale models of the Moroccan pavilion for authenticity. 19 Moroccan artisans were brought to Walt Disney World to decorate 9 tons of tiles with intricate geometric patterns. The ancient designs used in the decorative tiles and woodwork date back 10 centuries to an Islamic prohibition against using animate objects in art. Although designed at the same time as the other showcases, Morocco did not open until 1984, 2 years after the official opening of World Showcase. The United Kingdom in World Showcase offers the history and traditions of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The blending of different architectural styles enables guests to travel through 400 years of British history, from Shakespeare's time to the age of the Victorians. Quaint shops, half-timbered buildings, gardens, and a British pub immerse guests in the many traditions of the British Empire. The Cotswold-style cottage in Britannia Square is based on Anne Hathaway's cottage in Stratford-upon-Avon. The thatched roof looks genuine, but it's actually made of plastic bristles because real thatch would be a fire hazard. The two places at Walt Disney World where guests can enjoy a traditional English tea are the Rose and Crown restaurant in the United Kingdom and the Grand Floridian Resort. Ideally situated on the bank of the Seven Seas Lagoon, the patio of the Rose and Crown restaurant is one of the prime spots to watch and enjoy illuminations.
From a Northwest Indian village to a 19th century French chateau, the diversity of Canadian cities and the beauty of her wilderness is captured in Canada in World Showcase. The Western Hemisphere's largest nation features an imposing hotel, a French-Canadian town, and the formal Victoria Gardens. A footpath takes guests past waterfalls and pine trees to an abandoned mine tunnel from the Klondike Gold Rush days.
Congratulations! You found a hidden Mickey!
Oh Canada, a Circle Vision film, presents a whirlwind tour that surrounds guests with bird's-eye views of Canada's charming cities and majestic mountains. Canada's Victoria Gardens are a miniature representation of the famed Bouchard Gardens in Victoria, British Columbia. Three of the conifer trees in Canada at World Showcase are replicas. Imagineers were concerned that real trees would grow so tall they would throw the carefully designed landscape out of perspective.
With the success of Disneyland Park fresh in his mind, Walt Disney dreamed of building a complete resort destination for the entire family. He searched for a spot with enough land to do all the projects he had imagined and found it near Orlando, Florida. This location was chosen because of its climate and proximity to several interstate highways and growing population centers.
Now, in larger scale on this map, our Florida land is located partly in Orange County and Osceola County, between the cities of Orlando and Kissimmee. And the important thing is that the Disney World is located just a few miles from the crossing point of Interstate 4 and Sunshine State Parkway, Florida's major highways carrying motors east and west and north and south to the center of the state.
The Walt Disney World property covers 30,500 acres, or about 47 square miles, roughly twice the size of Manhattan Island. Walt Disney and a jeep load of his Imagineers first inspected the future site of Walt Disney World in 1964. What they found were 43 square miles of wilderness and wildlife, cypress and pine, orchids and oranges. This remote land had been used primarily for cattle grazing, agriculture, and logging.